So hey guys, welcome to another video. Today I want to show you how you can work outside even without all the problems we have right now in the world. So if you have a closed gym, or if all the gyms are closed in your country, you might feel like a bit disappointed because you cannot really continue with your training plan, right? But as I told you previously, besides having a home gym, you can always use resistance bands to get at least the most of your workout, okay? And what we're gonna do today is basically we're gonna make a set, maybe up to 2 sets per unit, so per exercise. And I just want to show you that if you have like a calisthenics area, like I have right here in this parking near to my house, that you can still do a lot of training things, okay? Given the fact that you have, of course, a resistance band. But first we're gonna start with dips. So just a normal dip bar over there. I'm gonna perform some dips, then some push-ups, and I'm gonna show you how you can imply these with your push-up training as well. And then I'm gonna show you how you can do all the other pulling exercises. So okay, enough said. Let's just start with a set of dips, okay? Because they are quite heavy on your system and on your chest and arm muscles, so you have to do them at the very beginning. So a perfect set of 10. I'm gonna do one more in a while. Just let me rest a bit. Again, it's not about killing yourself. It's about exercising when most people don't, okay? So always keep that in mind. Most people just stay at home, don't do anything because they can't. But if you have something, any sort of facility you can use, or you can attach your resistance band to, then you should really use it for exercising, because that's basically all we have right now. So one small tip for the dips. If you bend your knees a little bit, you automatically lean more forward, which means the dips go more on your chest and less on your triceps. But if you sort of push yourself down or push yourself upright, it goes less on your chest and more on your triceps. So you have 2 different variations there. I today did it for chest because I feel like chest is now basically the hardest thing to train if you don't have a proper home gym. And if you want to do pushing things, I mean, you can do push-ups all the time. That's quite easy. But still, if you're doing push-ups, it doesn't really give you the same resistance as putting like 160, 150, 200 pounds, whatever, or even more on your barbell and doing bench presses. So for that, I bought my light or medium resistance band with me. And what I'm gonna do now, and you will see it, sorry if the sun is shining too much, but that's something that is that's lying out of my hands. I cannot control the sun. What you do is basically you go in a normal push-up position, but you put the band around yourself, right? And push yourself up. And therefore you have always a little bit more of resistance, and be it only 10 to 12 kilos when you're doing a rep. So I could have could have brought with me the stronger band, but I didn't want to because I still have a lot of exercises to come, and therefore I just bought my normal one with me. Okay, next time I'm gonna show you some very hardcore exercises with the stronger band, but not today. Today it's a full body workout session. Okay. So that's one set. If that is still too easy for you, no, it won't work out. Or does it work out around my waist? No, it doesn't. It's too short. So deal with the things you have and complain about everything else later. What you can of course also do, and this time I'm going to put the smartphone over here. See, you maybe see this small piece of wall, so to speak, and that is perfectly fine for incline or decline push-ups. So incline is of course when you press against the stone wall, and decline bench presses is when you put your feet on the wall and you push yourself off the ground. Because what you have to keep in mind is always think about the body angle, okay? If your body angle is like that, so feet up, head down, that's the same as you were doing a decline bench press, see? And if you're doing incline presses, so arms over there and feet on the ground, it's the same like being on a bench, on a normal bench where the where it's a bit set high, you know what I mean? So I'm gonna do them both. First the declines. And now the inclines. So with normal flat push-ups, it works out with the band, but it comes off as soon as you vary your body angle. So that's now for the pressing movements. So before I move on, let me just show you the small calisthenics part. Okay, so as you can see, we have several possibilities to work on things. Okay, so different bars in different heights, where different possibilities to attach the band to. Alright, and this is everything you need, guys. Everything you need if you want to deal with bands. So now we're gonna start doing some, well, you would normally call it cable flies, but of course there aren't cable flies. What this is a band fly. So So that was the hardest cable fly. The cable fly from down to upwards, okay? Because we're fighting gravity here. Not only the resistance of the band, but also gravity. Therefore, if you're doing cable flies, the hardest version is always the one where you have to pull the weight up, okay? It's not the horizontal version, and it's also not the upper version. But of course, the easiest version, so to speak, is really where you pull everything down from above, because you're using gravity there, okay? So now I'm gonna show you the horizontal version. See? That's the bar over there, where you can see the ear of the graffiti. That's the bar I'm going to attach it to, okay? So, and then we do some normal cable flies. Also try to move as far possible as you can to max out the resistance, okay? So there's still one more version left, and the next version we're gonna do are cable flies while attaching the band over there, as you can see, and pulling everything down. So maybe you see it better this way. So that was the chest training. Now what we can do is, of course, we can do some bicep curls, we can do some side laterals for shoulders, but I want to show you how you can actually train out your back. And remember, back exercises are all pulling exercises, okay? So we do the same principle, but this time not with our chest in focus, but with our back, okay? The good thing about those bands is also that you can vary the grip. So that's a neutral grip right there. You can also use the more common grip here, you know, from your rows in your gym. So here we go again. Now you can see it. And now again from above. So see how often you can vary the exercise with the same equipment. Therefore I highly recommend that you do band training sessions once in a while. It's not the same as doing it with weights, but they both are important, okay? So only training with weights is not really that good for power, and only training with bands isn't neither, okay? So the only exercise you can now do is doing lat pull downs, okay? And that's what we're gonna do for the finishing back exercise. But the workout is still not done yet. We'll still have to work on the arms and on the shoulders somehow. Okay? So I hope you can see me. Yes, I think you can. Just for maybe not being able to see me, I take this one. You already know the exercise. Lat pull downs. Make sure you get the full extension, even if that means you need to sit on the floor or on the ground in this case. Okay, get your full extension and do some of these. So to really fatigue to really fatigue your back while doing those lat pull downs, you obviously have to do more repetitions or use a higher resistance band, because I could have done like 30 more, but it's just for working out, for generally working out your body, for feeling great, and for maintaining power, mobility, and also strength, of course. So now what we're gonna do now is we're gonna go for rear delts, okay? And there are different versions how you can really train them, but I think there's one exercise which you sometimes can do in a gym if there is the equipment for it. And what we're basically gonna do right here is, let me just put this aside for a while. So I'm gonna attach it once again right here, okay? So you can see it's attached, and what we do here basically is similar to a normal row, but we expand really our back. It's really like yeah, like a front. No, I don't know how this pose is called in bodybuilding, but you really expand your whole upper body, okay? So to understand what I mean, I put this time the camera here. Yes, let me see if you can see everything. Yeah, I think you can. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna sit over there on this block, on this concrete stone, and I'm gonna expand backwards, okay? So I'm doing something like a reverse butterfly, but it's even more intense. That's the best exercise you can do for rear delts if you have this band, okay? So most of the exercises are band exercises. At the beginning we had some calisthenics. So what we're gonna have to do now is we obviously have to work on the shoulders a bit more. Means we have to do front raises and side laterals, okay? And for the side, there's also another exercise I might be able to show you, but I don't really quite know, because I had a quite intense workout yesterday after I've shown you the choked reps, specifically for my side laterals, for my side deltoids. And obviously the easiest exercise you can do with a band for the side of your shoulder is of course a side lateral. You can do it separately or you can do it together. I normally prefer to do it together because I feel like that gives me really a look at, well, how strong I am and how I look in general. So I feel a little bit more controlled when I do it together on both sides, but you can vary. And I mean, if you use a very heavy band, you might not be able to do it on both sides at the same time. So you also have to think about what you're using right now in terms of equipment, okay? So that's a perfect exercise, of course, for your side delts. And it's also a great exercise for your for your lower chest. I don't know why, but it is. At least that's how I feel, okay? So now the front raises, okay? So classic bodybuilding exercises just done with a band. Front raises. I mean, look, again, there's something I want to tell you about this exercise. Some people say just move it up here, it's perfectly enough. And some say you have to do sort of the Arnold press, which means you have to pull it up right here. And I sometimes do both, but I sort of prefer not the Arnold press, but the normal one. And the reason why is because I think if you overextend it, now here with the band, you're using more force of your arms instead of your shoulders. So when I'm only moving up here, I'm using a minimum amount of my arm muscles to get it up there, but the focus is on my shoulder, on my front deltoid, okay? So it depends on how you feel it better. Okay, so that's enough for the front. We did something for the side, something for the front, and something for the back. Now, is there a general shoulder exercise you might do, or you can do with the band? Of course you can. Similar to dumbbell presses, you just press everything up, okay? Sorry if it's a bit shaky, but I can't afford a cameraman. At least not yet, so please support me if you want a cameraman. And what you need is, you have to look again what's in your surroundings. I mean, obviously there are two things you can do. You can, of course, just sit in front of the stone, for example, get your knees or your feet on the band and try to pull up like this, and that's perfectly fine. But if you find something a bit more elegant, again, where you do not have to put your feet on the band, but still it's wrapped around you, why not use it? And that is far more effective. And guys, I already told it once when I was talking about Jay Cutler. He really showed me something and showed the world something I didn't really know. I always thought for maximum building of your whole shoulder, you have to do the whole extension like that. But that's not the case, guys, because that's working your shoulders and your triceps and your forearms especially. So if you always want to work your triceps with your shoulders, then obviously do the full extension. But if you're particularly looking for your shoulder strength and size, it's perfectly enough to do that, because your shoulder won't feel the difference. Your arm will feel the difference, but not your shoulder. So you can also speed it up and therefore make it even harder for you. And some people really like the following exercise for the so-called 3D look, okay? So what is the 3D look? 3D look means that you see the shoulder very defined from the front, the side and the back, so that you really get this caps, okay? Everybody wants. And people say face pulls are perfect for that. Now, face pulls with a cable tower are quite easy to do. I don't know whether it is that easy here with the band. I will try it first without making a knot. And if this doesn't work out, I'll make a knot, okay? So really attach it there where your face is, therefore it's called face pulls. and you move it like that. It works out without the knot, it's perfect. You can also do it with a band, so I can definitely attest to that. And now we're done with basically everything. What you can of course still do is upright rows, my favorite shoulder exercise, as you know. Some people say, okay, that might hurt your joints and it might hurt your muscle tissue or your connective tissue, but I'll tell you something, okay? Every great exercise has a risk attached to it. Like doing squats, for example. Why do people hate squats? Because it's so difficult to do. Why it's so because it's so taxing, and there is a high risk for injury, but also the possible reward is very high, and that is the same with upright rows. Okay, so people hate this exercise because they think it hurts their rotator cuff. I cannot really say so, but maybe if you overdo it and you do it like every day, then I can see something like that happen. But you should never ever do the same exercise each and every day. Okay, some upright rows. Now, is there a good calisthenics exercise you can do for shoulders besides the wall planche I've already shown you, or the handstand against the wall, or the handstand freestanding if you can do, or handstand push-ups if you can do them, which is of course the hardest of them all? And the answer is yes, there is. What you can do, for example, if you don't want to do any of these exercises I've shown you previously, you can do the so-called pike push-ups. So with pike push-ups, what you basically do is you put yourself in a position where you almost look like a pyramid, like a triangle, okay? And by halving your body like that, okay, or by curving it like that, you get this triangle pyramid shape, and you put most of the resistance on top of your shoulders. So pike push-ups can be done of course on the floor like that, okay, that's the easiest version, although I'm too tight for it right now. Or you can do it elevated, which is the one I'm doing normally. But I think, let me just see if I can do a rep or not. It's quite elevated today. Let me see if I can do one. And what you do then is basically you let yourself, I do it first like that. I don't want to risk anything. Okay, and then you do that. So, and you can always elevate the pedestal where your feet are a bit more, so that you one day come closer to a handstand push-up against the wall, and later on freestanding. But you saw my shoulders are already gone, so I did basically one without elevation and the second with elevation. And there's a third one, but the third one is one of my favorites, if not the favorite shoulder exercise for calisthenics, and that's something I want to keep for another day when I'm rested. So what is still left? Of course, something that we should do for our arms, some bicep curls, Okay, like that. I'm not that much interested right now in bicep curls. Was ist? Ordnungsamt. Ja, bitteschön, kommt vorbei. So some guys making fun of the fact that at these times you're not allowed to walk around in groups and use public spaces all the way you want to, but as long as it's not forbidden to train here, I'm going to train you, okay? So we did some bicep curls. Everybody's watching, it's so funny. We did some bicep curls and now we're gonna do some tricep extensions, okay? And last but not least, I'm gonna show you something for your legs, but yeah, that will be it then. So as I said, triceps extensions. Tag.
Den Sport müssen wir einstellen.
Wieso?
Die ganzen Sportstätten.
Hier war jetzt kein Band drumherum, darum habe ich gedacht, wäre kein Problem.
Das hätte das nicht mehr gemacht, weil die kann man helfen.
Ach so.
Der Räder kaputt gemacht hat.
Okay. Ja, alles klar, dann weißt du Bescheid. Ja.
Also erstmal bis zum 19.04. und dann müssen wir mal gucken.
Okay. So there you have it, guys. It's not allowed anymore, and see you soon.